Welcome back to Chicago Live. We continue to follow as we learn more developments about the killing of Charlie Kirk. And we want to go to Jay Swidler. He is the head of the Vernon Township Republicans, covering the same area in which Kirk grew up. We know he graduated from Wheeling High School. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Hey, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Let's talk about really your reaction to what happened. I know you put a statement out. Let's talk about what the community here at home is feeling after this.
Well, it's been a devastating 24 hours, as you can imagine. There's not a single person I know that I don't talk to, and they don't know exactly what happened and are being affected by it. A lot of people telling stories about how their kids were involved and were aware of Charlie and what kind of difference he made in their lives. And it's very touching. I'm very thankful that people had that opportunity. I did not get a chance to meet Charlie, but clearly just a giant of a man, way more influential than I think a lot of people, give him credit for.
We got some breaking news out of Salt Lake City at the top of the hour on this show, saying that Kirk's body will be taken to Arizona by Air Force Two. He was still currently living in Arizona, clearly from our area. Any indication that he still has roots in our area? Any family still living in our area?
I'm not sure about the family. I know that he was, when he started the program, Turning Point many years ago, our prior chairman, Marko Sukovic, was deeply involved. He shared some pictures on Facebook as well of the early days of Turning Point. So it's very touching, very special pictures, and what they used to do and how they used to do it. So it just shows the ground floor nature of what Charlie did and how he really created this program and had a vision and executed this vision to be years later what it turned into, which is a monumental, organization in the movement.
Let's talk about political violence. We've seen, the assassination attempt of our president. We now have this situation with Charlie Kirk. We've seen it for Minnesota lawmakers as well. What is your reaction to people being so disagreeable that they take it to the level of violence?
Well, I think it starts with the I dare say the rhetoric, because that's what the Democrats and the left like to say about Trump. But it really is when you're saying that you want to have the temperature down, you don't want to have the rhetoric, and then you have the J.B. Pritzkers of the world saying don't give them a moment's rest. We don't run anything in Illinois, yet you were the problem in Illinois. That seems strange to me. So between that, Maxine Waters get up in their face. When people used to go out to dinner, in Washington, D.C., you'd have people getting in their faces. So there's been a certain encouragement of this kind of behavior on the left. And it seems to be a prevailing issue with the far left part of the Democrat Party. So it's become the energy on the left to this fight, whatever the fight is, without any concrete ideas on what they're going to solve. So this is the problem that we're seeing right now.
Well, how do we reach a middle point, Jay? Because you would have the left say that about the right. You'll have the right say that about the left. And it keeps going. And there's really no true resolve here. How do we meet in the middle to where we're not really, keeping these feuds going to the point where people out there that are enraged take this way too far?
I take your point, and it's a fair question, but I do preface it where, when we have a disagreement with the Democrats, it's an ideological disagreement. We disagree with their policies. We disagree with what they want to do in the policy arena. The differences that with the left is that they call us fascists, and they call us Nazis, and they call anybody who supports Trump these different things. So I guess the question I would put to you is, if somebody thinks that somebody is Hitler or somebody is a Nazi, what wouldn't you do to stop them?
I hear you're asking me that question, but that question isn't for me. I'm in the middle of this, staying truly neutral, and that's where I want to be. I don't want to be in the middle of this. What I do want to ask you, Jay, is what are you hearing in the community? What is the community feeling about this? I'm not trying to get political with you. My question is really about how do we create peace? Even if the left is doing this, even if the right is saying this, how do we create a culture of peace?
Well, it starts with people in power. And in general, in Illinois, you don't have Republicans in power. So you have Democrats in power. So it's up to them to kind of lead the way. They've been the one with the explosive rhetoric, again, calling people, names that should not be called. It puts targets on people's back. So if that changed, I think that would be the beginning. I think that then we could see that there could be a start to that. If that doesn't change, I don't know how it changes. In Illinois, Republicans don't have power. So if people in power, the Pritzkers, the Brandon Johnsons, et cetera, in Illinois, don't tone down their rhetoric and work to create this broadening of communication, then there's really nothing that can be done because Republicans don't have power to change it in Illinois. What we can do is do work. We can inform the public. This is what we do in Vernon Township all the time, is just inform the public about policies, about voting, about when things are going on. That's what we can do. So we don't really, the inflammatory stuff, you can have an individual here or there. I'm not going to say it doesn't happen, of course. But from a structural standpoint, that has to change from the people in power. And the people in power in the state are the ones vilifying the ones who are not in power.
Jay, let me ask you this. Charlie Kirk was instrumental in really getting young people galvanized, getting young people together, no matter what side you were on, to have really heartfelt conversations about things like race, sexuality in our country, how those things are viewed. His absence now, what does the history of having those real conversations look like?
What a gift he was to do that, which is something that we all want to do. We all want to have conversations and not be just calling people's names or closing their ears or running away from conversations. And he was able to do this, and he did it. He was the happy warrior. He was doing it with a smile. He was doing it in an informative way, very well read on all the facts, on all the information, whether it be from biblical information, whether it be from political information, historical. Just an incredible mind that he was, and for him to feel so strongly about going to the college campuses and continuing this work, because he did have this massive influence on Gen X or Gen Z, whatever it is, and they really understood where he was coming from. And it was just such a beautiful thing to see, and you love seeing it when he would have those conversations. There are other people having those conversations. The problem now comes down to things like security. And will it be safe to have those conversations? Because you have to have those conversations on college campuses.
You do.
And the problem that we saw for a number of years is that you weren't allowed to have those conversations on the campuses. The administration on the college campuses basically said, no, we don't want to have those conversations here. They're dangerous. Again, dangerous rhetoric. That's what it was always called. You're having a conversation with people, and it's called dangerous rhetoric. That's the problem that I see. And until that is encouraged on college campuses and open thought and discussion and dialogue, that will continue to be an issue regardless.
Have you heard of any events that will take place across our area, maybe anything in your township, to kind of remember the life of Charlie Kirk?
Yeah, I haven't heard anything yet. I'm guessing in the next few days we'll start to see some things gel. And certainly Vernon Township would love to be a part of something like that, or we might come up with something. So,
Jay, I appreciate the dialogue. I appreciate the conversation that we had. I appreciate the respect that we had for one another, and I really enjoyed your point of view. And again, want to make sure that people understand I am in the middle. I don't have any leaning either way here. I just wanted to have a conversation with you. So I appreciate you being open to us just having a conversation about something that is so polarizing in our community. I do want to bring up this. So Jay, thank you for your time. I do want to bring up.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. We hope to talk to you soon. I do want to bring up the fact about this because I think some people may have this a little confused. There was supposed to be a prayer vigil in honor of Charlie Kirk in Lamont. That was where he had his first office. That has been postponed. It will happen at some point, but the organizers wanted to make sure that the community at large knows that that event has been postponed until a later date. They have to work out traffic, streets, etc., and security for that event, but it will happen at a later date.